You know, I'm a firm believer that when you're in business, you're there to look after your customers. If there's a product that's defective, bend over backwards and look after your customers. Don't blow them off and tell them to go pound sand. People tend to remember bad customer service better than good customer service and don't come back and repeat business. The local Staples store is finding this out now because I'm talking about them through a very bad customer experience over a defective piece of hardware. But let's check out my video for today. Today we're going to swap out the battery in this Uniden phone because it's dead. And I just so happen to have some replacements that I should be fine. In fact, I've got one here that I've already opened up. This one uses a couple of AA cells, nickel metal hydrate. So I figured I don't got much else to do right now, but I figured I would do this just for something to do. And then we can have a little talk about customer service and lack of customer service these days. So last month I went into the local Staples store, and I'm not going to mention which store, but we'll just say Staples. There's a number of them, but my local Staples store. And I buy USB flash drives there, which I use for archiving people's video on. I had an order of, I think it was 8 tapes. So it was on that 64 gig USB stick. And it was the only copy. The tapes all went right into the machine and came out and were stored directly on the USB stick. So I stored them on the USB stick, and I'll use an iCAD. We'll be replacing this with nickel metal hydrate, no problem. They will work. Anyway, get all the recordings done. Hand the USB drive off to the client, and the client comes back and says, yeah, I was watching these and they're freezing and not playing properly. So, okay, can you have a look at this? Okay, yeah, I'll have a look at it. And she says, it came up with a message telling me I needed to format the drive. And, well, that doesn't sound right. And I popped them in, and sure enough, I'm getting the same message telling me that the USB stick is not formatted. So, all right, well, I guess something went wrong. I'm blaming the customer at this point, thinking that maybe they did something silly like unplug it without safely removing. Format the drive, and figured I'll do a test on it. So I used the H2W test to write to it. And after it wrote the first, I don't know, 20 or so gigs, it started to get really, really slow. And then it failed. And then the drive was not even recognizable. So, okay, it looks like the drive is defective. We'll just take it back to the local Staples store where I bought it. I've got the receipt. I go into the local Staples store and see the manager. And the manager, he's not very helpful. He looks at the receipt, and he looks at the drive, and he says, do you have the packaging for it? No, I don't have the packaging. Oh, well, I need the packaging. Well, I don't have the packaging. I said, here's an idea. Why don't you just go and get me another one, and you can open it up and put this bad one in the packaging. Nope, I can't do that. Why not? Well, it's not our policy. And then he looks at it and says, oh, and you purchased this from me on November the 14th. Yep, that's right. There it says right there on the receipt. Well, today's December the 15th. Yeah. Well, you're past the 30-day exchange period, so there's nothing I can do. So I said to him, well, sir, your store closes at 6 o'clock, and I don't get off work till 6:30. So I couldn't bring it back yesterday, or I would have. I just got it back from my client on Friday. He says, nothing I can do. Sorry, can't help you. So basically I walked out of the store and give him a piece of my mind as I was leaving, because I certainly won't be going back there again. And told him I'd let all my social media people know that maybe they want to do business with someone else, like maybe Amazon, where they'll stand behind their product and give you a refund when something is clearly defective. But that is my take on dealing with Staples. These look like cheap batteries, don't they? Look at the connector on this thing. I've never seen anything quite like that before. But this is an easy fix. This is the negative terminal, obviously. And I know that this battery pack is good. probably needs to be charged, but I know it's good.
And here's another thing on customer service. Even though I don't have to re-record my clients' tapes for free because it's not my fault that the USB media was defective, I'll be the one eating all the hours and running up all the hours on my equipment, redoing their order for nothing because I got a bad memory stick, and here the store is basically telling me, too bad, so sad. Now, I try to resolve this the honest way, but I mean, I guess if I have to be dishonest to get this replaced, I'll have to be dishonest. I'll just go and buy another one at another store, drive around for a few hours, and take it back and say, I don't want it. I want my money back. One way or the other, I'm going to get it replaced. The manager at the local store could have made it easy and just exchanged it, but he chose to make things difficult. So now he's getting his 15 minutes of fame on YouTube.
There, just like that. We'll throw that tape back over the top that like they had on the original. I don't know if this was the original or an aftermarket battery, but I've never seen them like this with the two. I was expecting it to be a plug, but they're actually two separate terminals that just plug in, and it actually lists. It says which is the black and which is the red. So I don't know if this was an aftermarket battery. I'm thinking this had to be an aftermarket battery because I can't see any factory battery being like that. But then maybe it was. Maybe this is a factory battery, and that's just the way that I think this was a replacement. Pi cell. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was probably a $30 battery at the London Drugs or something that was replaced before. Say it was my mother-in-law's phone, or it is her phone, so maybe somebody replaced the battery before for them, and that's why they have them like this, so that you can put them into any type of phone. But we'll plug the red one in. I just can't see a factory battery being like this. Normally they would have an actual plug on it. This is almost like it's done like a universal, and you just put them back in. But that's it. It will work. It's not going to find the base station because it's not here. But that's a quick, easy way to replace batteries from old packs that you can cut apart, which is what this came from. This came from one of these battery packs here, which is the nickel metal hydrate. This came out of an old alarm system that's now defunct because it was working on the old 3G cellular network. The 2018, so the battery is not that old. It should be good for a while for a phone, I would think. I've been using these things for years and other devices. Like I put them in my little TV, little color TV that I've got, put them in that. So it should be good for a bit, I would think. Anyway, that's my repair. Maybe I'll stick this on top. I don't think it'll short out on anything. Anyway, it's got tape on it. It won't hurt anything. What the hell? There. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. And remember that when you're dealing with retail stores, that sometimes they don't stand behind the products that they sell. And Staples Canada definitely is not standing behind the products that they sell. So this one is the USB stick in question. So after it failed, I freshly formatted this, plugged it into my computer, and started the acid test. The H2 test W, I think it's called, that will test every sector and determine if the flash drive is any good or not. And this is what I got for my results. It did not finish the test. It did not finish the write test. It got to there. And then it crashed the computer, and the computer rebooted itself. Here's as far as it got. It got to 56 H2W. It only wrote, and that was it. The computer just spontaneously rebooted. I was watching it while it was doing it, and I was hoping it was going to finish, but it didn't. It just crashed, and the computer rebooted. When I try to read the file, I get an error. When I try to retrieve or do a test, like read test, I get a failure. This is the test file that I'm using to test the integrity. And yes, it's in German, so we have to change it to English, wherever my mouse pointer is hiding. And select the target, which is I. Removable disk I. Okay. Now obviously I can't read to the, or can't write to it because it's got existing
data, but if I do a verify, it will verify for a few minutes and then it's going to lock up. So let's start the verification. And there we go. It's already giving me a warning. This media is defective. There's 60 kbytes of data lost. It's no good, you know. And yeah, this is a problem that the seller of the media basically told me to go pound sand. As it continues, it's finding all kinds of errors coming up here. Read errors are coming up now. See, this is the problem we're having with this one. Clearly a defective USB stick. Something that you would think anybody that's looking out for their customers would certainly bend over backwards. We are talking just a $15 USB stick. You would think that to keep the customer happy, they would just replace it. After all, it failed on the first use. And yet, here we are having this conversation about bad customer service at Staples. Shame on you, Staples. I'll find another place to buy my memory sticks going forward. Thanks for watching.